This boat is made by an 18-year-old boy called Kushal from a tiny village called Banjarapalya, south of Bangalore. What he wants to do with this boat is that he wants this boat to find the pollution of the local lake in his village. I was born in Mumbai to a middle-class family, but I went to a wonderful school. And in this school, people from all backgrounds, rich and poor, came together to study. We had progressive teachers. These teachers asked us to ask questions. But most importantly, we were very outgoing. We were going out for picnics, debates, competitions, movies. I think I spent more time outside the school than inside the school. We faced our own challenges. We faced our own consequences. We made our own mistakes. And my parents did not pin me down to the ground. They let me make my own choices. And then I went to university. This university in a small part of Tamil Nadu, where 15,000 other students, just like me, were studying. But very quickly I realized that they were all not like me or my friends in Mumbai. They were not asking so many questions. They were not so outgoing or exposed. And this confused me. I thought we all went through the same education and had sort of the same kind of families. I started thinking, maybe we did not have the same kind of schools. Maybe we did not have the same kind of parents. And to add to all of this, the university had its own restrictions. It stopped us from asking questions. It stopped us from going out. It was like a cage for 15,000 students living together like birds. And it was depressing. And it felt like my brain is dying for 4 years. 4 of my most important years. University got over, and I moved to Bangalore. I took a job in a software company, just like everyone else. In 6 months, I realized I can't do this anymore. It was just too boring. So, 31st December 2013, I quit my job. I moved to this village, Banjarapalya, south of Bangalore, where another NGO was working, and I started staying there. Now, this village is only 30 kilometers from the city of Bangalore, which is called our IT capital. And most people in the village haven't ever seen computers. So this was very interesting for me, and I decided I'll do an experiment. The NGO gave me a few computers and a little space, and I put them up there, connected the internet. I told the local kids, hey, do you want to play games? And I got them in the space. There was only one condition. I did not show them how to play games. And in a few hours, every kid was playing a game without knowing English, without knowing how to use a computer. And this taught me something. That if your motivation is strong enough, you can break all barriers. And I thought, why can't we have education, which is so much fun? So from that day, I started buying more tools. I started getting hammers, hacksaws, screwdrivers. We started making things. On some days, we were making little robots out of printers and trash cans. On some days, we were making ball-throwing machines. On some days, we were just painting. Random things. I showed them how to use the internet to find projects on the internet so that they can make things on their own. And very quickly, they did not need me to help them on their projects. And so I felt, this is almost a great school. It just needs one thing. And so I decided I'll do another experiment. In December 2014, I left that space. I just went away. And I told them, hey, you try and run this on your own. And from that day until today, the space, or the school, is run by the local participants of the village on their own. You can call this a makerspace, where people come together, collaborate, build things. Okay, so now let's look at this school. We had fun, we worked together, and we learned a lot. But is that enough? To understand schools, we have to look at its history. The schools as we know today in India are not our indigenous schools. They were built by the British, or designed by the British, when industrialization was coming in. Now, when you're making so many factories in the country, what you need is a lot of people to work in them. What they did not need are people who would ask questions or challenge ideas. What they needed were people who would follow orders without questioning. And what better way to do that than to put someone through 15 years of schooling, where they're trained to exactly do that, to follow orders and to not ask questions. And we now live in a neoliberal society where we feel we are free. Are we really free? Aren't we slaves to consumerism? Isn't creativity becoming a tool just to earn more money? To understand what the school of the future needs, we have to understand one very interesting point. The society is constantly changing. And what education should actually teach us is to be curious about the society and to ask questions. To develop a critical bent of mind so that if anything wrong is happening, we are able to challenge it. Imagine if Tesla did not ask questions. We would not have electricity. We call our venture Project DEFY, where DEFY is an English word which means to challenge the status quo. DEFY can also be expanded as design education for yourself. You remember the boat I showed you that Kushal made? Do you want to now see the school where he made it?
I made this rowing nimbus.
I built wind race car.
I made a solar fan. I built strawberry heads.
2 months ago, I was in Rome and I visited a school. And in the school, on the wall, was a very interesting poem written by a kid. And it got me thinking. Maybe it'll get you thinking. It goes like this. The more I study, the more I know. The more I know, the more I forget. The more I forget, the less I know. So why study? Thank you.